what's going on? This is Corey from Mediocre Rumble Brothers, and this episode's a little bit different. This is my first episode that is a devlog. I decided that I kind of wanted to work on my own game as a solo dev. And I've done things before for like various other people because professionally I am a digital generalist, 2D, 3D generalist. I also work as a tech artist, and I kind of wanted to get my hands dirty on my own project, and so I've been kind of in my free time developing a pixel art horror RPG. The reason why I chose that genre is because I really like games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill. I enjoy horror movies, and I've played a lot of JRPGs in my lifetime, so I kind of wanted to do like an amalgam of a couple of my favorite things and make it a little less complicated without complex leveling systems or skill trees. I still wanted to have that turn-based combat, but somehow implement a sense of urgency for active combat as well. So I've been building this game up in my mornings, and I kind of have a few of the pillars completed. Usually I've done a lot of prototyping in the past, and I've made game design documents or other things where I've wanted to build something big, but then I do art first instead of the programming, and then I kind of staring at this mountain, and it becomes overwhelming. And like many new projects that people kind of take on, if it starts to feel overwhelming, you kind of just you quit while you're ahead in a sense, because you haven't really got too far in. For this, my main focus was to kind of start getting a lot of the functionality to it so that it feels like a game as I play test it. And currently, I sketched out a couple monsters, the character designs. I drew out the level map because I'm building towards a demo. That's my main focus, is a singular full game loop that ends with a boss fight. That kind of gives you a small glimpse of the entire premise of the game. So you have a little bit of everything. I have transitions from room to room. I can carry the player's information between scenes. So your inventory holds the items, which was a big deal. I wanted to have limited item space like Resident Evil, so you kind of have to manage what you have. It's a little different, and I'll have to do some balancing considering that I have 3 characters instead of just 1 like Resident Evil does. I'm still kind of working on the combat, but you can pick up items, you can pick up keys to open locked doors. There's jammed doors, but most likely those are going to be open from the other side. I will have to figure out how to kind of convey that to the player at this time, but most importantly, it just works right now. I'm going to have to create a save system because I'm not tracking the keys and key items or items in general from being picked up, so when you leave and come back, all of the scene is reset. So that'll kind of be my next main focus, is to build that part up. I have basic enemy patrols, and if you're within range, they'll chase you. Right now it's a giant red square, which is equally terrifying when it comes out of nowhere, but it triggers the battle scene where you go into a new screen that's, instead of pixel art, illustrated combat. The battle system is based on a percentage chance of enemies targeting you on a timer that will be set based off of an enemy speed. So they have a range and frequency of attack, and they also, all of my enemies are set up on a base AI system that I have for them to choose a move. There's a percentage weight to how often they'll do these moves. This way I can have a more diverse enemy cast, even though I'm not going to have like 100 different enemy types. And players can melee for base damage at 100% accuracy. Well, maybe not 100%, there's like a 95% accuracy. But I also have using their weapons, or their, whether it's a revolver or a shotgun, I still have to set up what the nurse is going to do. The weapons have a percent accuracy for hitting, and you can either target their body or their head. Right now it's clicking buttons. I'm probably going to have to make this more interactable. I kind of have an idea for something I want to try, so I'll start approaching that later. The way that the weapons work is you have an ammo-based system, and if you run out of ammo, it takes a turn to reload. I might have to revisit that depending on game feel, but first that's kind of how my main function is. The enemies also, based on their hit percentage when you're using your firearms. The weapon can either hit for critical damage, and if you hit them in the head, which is harder to do, which is, right now it's clicking a button, so I need to convey this visually, but you'll do bonus damage if you hit them in the head. There is a chance that you could miss, but there's also a chance you could graze them, so you'll still get a good hit. It's just not a full damage hit. Right now, it's all kind of functioning well. I can set any enemy in any battle that I want right now, so I can kind of hand tailor all the encounters. Some encounters will be mandatory, where some encounters you can get away from, because with limited resources I want the player to be able to avoid combat, but if they get into combat, then it becomes a balancing act of survival, and that was like my main focus, considering that it's a horror game and not necessarily just a regular RPG. I'm also kind of drawing inspiration from like Lisa and Fear and Hunger for like the brutality of it. Granted, I'm not going to do permadeath. I kind of toyed with that idea at first, but I feel like a game that might be as long as a Resident Evil, if a person died in the beginning and had to start the entire thing over again, that might not be as fun. So, I'm still working on this. I'll probably have future updates. If it's a major update, it'll be a more long format video similar to this, but I'll probably do a little bit more shorts to update progress, I suppose, because a lot of things are kind of difficult to showcase. Right now, there's kind of just things happening in the video in the background of showcasing where I'm at and some gameplay loops. And yeah, so I think I'll wrap this up with a time-lapse video of me painting one of the rooms. I have to do this for all of the rooms for the demo, so I'll probably have more of these. But yeah, so I'll just turn up some lo-fi and let you guys kind of chill out while you watch me finish detailing a room. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this, hit the like button, and also share this around with your friends that might be interested in a horror-themed RPG.